From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, February 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.92 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,345 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $25, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,229. Antiwar.com reports as Turkey's invasion of northern Syria continues, so too does their policy of arresting anyone seen as even sort of opposed to the attack. The Turkish Interior Ministry now says 449 people have been detained for criticizing the war on social media, and 124 more were detained for taking part in actual protest. Erdogan's Turkish government does not have a lot of patience for dissent or for Kurds. Unsurprisingly, dissent about a war against Kurds is being cracked down on intensely. Erdogan's spokesman warned that statements criticizing the war amount to statements glorifying terrorism and that the government is just enforcing the law as written. With Turkey's largely state-run media praising the war, public support for it is still relatively strong. When other non-government organizations issue statements against the war, as did a medical union in the country, President Erdogan has condemned them as traitors and arrested 11 of the senior members for a statement calling for peace immediately. With the war continuing and casualties rising, war exhaustion is inevitable. For now, however, expressing opposition to the conflict is a very dangerous crime indeed in Turkey.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports Seattle's election authority said on Monday that Facebook Incorporated is in violation of a city law that requires disclosure of who buys election ads, the first attempt of its kind to regulate U.S. political ads on the Internet. Wayne Barnett, executive director of the Seattle Ethics and Election Commission, said in a statement that Facebook must disclose details about spending in last year's Seattle city elections or face penalties. The penalties could be up to $5,000 per advertising buy, according to Barnett, adding that he would discuss next steps this week with Seattle City Attorney. It was not immediately clear how Facebook would respond if penalized. Facebook said in a statement it had sent the commission some data. Will Castleberry, a Facebook vice president, said Facebook is a strong supporter of transparency and political advertising. In response to a request from the Seattle Ethics and Election Commission, we were able to provide relevant information. Barnett said Facebook's response does not come close to meeting their public obligation. The company provided partial spending numbers but not copies of ads or data about whom they targeted. The unregulated nature of U.S. online political advertising drew attention last year after Facebook said Russians, using fake names, bought ads on the social network to try to sway voters ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Moscow denies trying to meddle in the election. Buying online election advertisement requires little more than a credit card. Federal law does not currently force online ad sellers such as Facebook or Alphabet's Google and YouTube to disclose the identity of the buyers. Legislation is pending to extend federal rules governing political advertising on television and radio to also cover internet ads, and tech firms have announced plans to voluntarily disclose some of that info. Facebook chief executive Mark Zuckerberg said in September that his company would create a new standard for transparency in online political advertisements. At the center of the Seattle dispute is a 1977 law that requires companies that sell election advertising, such as radio stations, to maintain public books showing the names of who bought the ads, the payments, and the exact nature and extent of the advertising services rendered. The law went unenforced against tech companies until a local newspaper, The Stranger, published a story in December in the wake of a Russia allegation asking why. Seattle sent letters to Facebook and Google asking them to provide information.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.